On behalf of Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce, we welcome you all for this session on healthy, safe food to consumers and success stories. This session is organized by BCIC in collaboration with Akhila Bharatiya Grahak Panchayat Karnataka Prant, also supported by Kandamal Agro. This session is the first in the three-part webinar series organized coinciding with the National Consumers Day. The Chamber expresses its sincere thanks to ABGP and Kandamal Agro for associating with BCIC in jointly organizing this session. We also express our sincere thanks to Shri Arun Deshpandeji, Rashtriya Sachiv, ABGP, Shri Satya, founder and CEO of Freshon.in, and the leaders of the expert committee of Agro and Food Processing. The committee is chaired by Mr. Ankur Bhaumik, COO MTR Foods, co-chaired by Mr. Nassima Nakshatri, Consultant Horti and Agri, Nakshatri Associates, and Mr. R. Prakash, Technical Director, Change for Holistic Agriculture and Green Enterprise. We welcome you all once again, sir. Before we commence the session, we would like to play the Karnataka Nadagite. Kindly stay with us. Jai Bharat Jananiya Tanujate, Jaya He Karnataka Mate, Kundarana Nadi, Era Sansi Janani, Mudeviya Makuta Pamaniye, Andada Chandada Munnina Mani, Raghava Madhusudana Ravasarisida Bharata Jananiya Tanujate, Jai Bharat Jananiya Tanujate. ಜನನಿಯ ಜೋಗುಳ ವೇಗದ ದೋಷ ಜನನಿಗೆ ಜೀವಮು ನಿನ್ನಾವೇಶ ಹಸುವಿನ ದೇವಿಗಳ ಸಾಲೆ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಕೊರಳಿನ ಮಾಲೆ ಕಪಿಲ ಪತಂಗಲ ಸಂಸಮತಿರನುತ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣೆ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ ಶಂಕರ ರಮನುಜ ವಿದ್ಯಾರಣ್ಯ ಮಕಲೇಶ್ವರರಿನ ದಿವ್ಯಾರಣ್ಯ षडक्षरि पुन्ना पति जन्मा कवि गणितिर मंगल राम कवि मोहि गण पुण्य राम रामानंद कबीर भारत जननीय संजाते जय हे कर्नाटक माते कैलम गणरायिक नाडे कलिगण जगणर नेत्रि Karavati Punda, Kaveriya Varanga, Chaitanya Paramahansa Vivekana Bharata Jananiya Sanjate, Jaya He Karnataka Mate, Sarva Jananga Shantiya Tota, Satikara Karnala Tota, Hindu Kaita Musalmana, Bharatika Jaina Rudyana, ನಾಯಕ ವೈದಿಕರ ಕನ್ನಡ ನುಡಿ ಕುಡಿದಾಡುವ ದೇಹ ಕನ್ನಡ ತಾಯಿಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ದೇಹ ನದಿಯ ಸಂಜಾತೆ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ. Thank you very much. Now we would like to request Srimati Subhadrama to play the Grahaka Geete. Over to you, madam.
मानवता के लिए उषा की किरण जगाने वाले हम, शोषित पीड़ित ग्राहक जन का भाग्य बनाने वाले हम। जय ग्राहक, जय ग्राहक, जय ग्राहक शक्ति। अन्य किसी की मुंह की रोटी हरना अपना काम नहीं, पर अपने अधिकार गंवा कर सकते आराम नहीं। अपने हित औरों के हित का मेल मिलाने वाले हम, शोषित पीड़ित ग्राहक जन का भाग्य बनाने वाले हम। जय ग्राहक, जय ग्राहक, जय ग्राहक शक्ति। रोटी कपड़ा मकान शिक्षा आवश्यकता जीवन की, व्यक्ति व्यक्ति परिवार सुखी हो तभी होगी मुक्ति सच्ची। हंसते हंसते राष्ट्र कार्य में शक्ति लगाने वाले हम, शोषित पीड़ित ग्राहक जन का भाग्य बनाने वाले हम। जय ग्राहक, जय ग्राहक, जय ग्राहक शक्ति। भारत माता का सुख गौरव प्राणों से भी प्यारा है। युग युग से मानव हित करना शाश्वत धर्म हमारा है। जीवन शक्ति उसी माता को भेंट चढ़ाने वाले हम, शोषित पीड़ित ग्राहक जन का भाग्य बनाने वाले हम। जय ग्राहक, जय ग्राहक, जय ग्राहक शक्ति। ग्राहक शक्ति राष्ट्र शक्ति। ವಂದನೆಗಳು.
Thank you very much, madam. I would now request Mr. Ankur Bhaumik, who is the chairman of Agro and Food Processing Expert Committee BCIC and COO of MTR Foods, to set the context for the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rupa. And so I think before we start, Mr. Deshpande said he's not hearing our voice. So Mr. Deshpande,
Yeah.
can you hear our voice now?
Yeah. Right now I got everything resolved. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So good evening. I'm really sorry. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, all the participants, and also distinguished speakers, co-chairs, and committee members, and secretariat of the chamber. Uh, Today, BCIC and ABGP jointly organizing series of webinars on consumer awareness in the food sector. I understand that ABGP is also celebrating the National Consumer Day on 24 December. And also they are organizing many consumer awareness programs from 15 December to 31st December. In that, today is the first in the series, and today's topic is healthy and safe food to consumers. When we talk about healthy and safe food, I think for India, 30, 40 years back, we were talking about sufficient food. How do you get food? And when we talked about food, we talked about grains, basically. We talked about a lot of carbohydrates. And then when we had sufficiency and India started producing a lot of grains, I think that's the evolution happens. And we have come to a stage where the consumers are more aware today about the nutritious value of food and how food is important for being healthy. And in that case, the consumers are also very demanding. And that's one part. And second part is also there are certain consumers where the awareness program is also very important, that we do that awareness programs. And that's where today's series comes in, where how do we really take care of the demanding consumers and how do we really educate some of the consumers on certain benefits of healthy and safe food, and which is basically also organic food and all kinds of nutritious foods. So today's speakers are Mr. Arun Deshpande. He is Rashtriya Sachiv of ABGP from Pune, and Mr. Satya, who is CEO and founder of Freshon. Thank you very much for agreeing and speaking on in this event. On behalf of Chamber, my sincere thanks to Mr. Balachandran, who is owner of Kannamal Agro, who has sponsored the program. And they Kannamal Agro, they procure a lot of fruits and vegetables around Bangalore, directly from the farmers for their requirement. And they also have series of hypermarkets, which is under the name of Ramchandran Textiles. So my sincere thanks to Mr. Balachandran for sponsoring the program. On behalf of BCIC, we really appreciate for the effort that he put in. This this is the first. There are three programs that will be conducted between BCIC and ABGP. This is the first one, and the second one is going to be on 20th, and third one is going to be on 23rd. Second one is going to be on the topic would be adulteration detection and food safety, which will be and there will be speakers from multinational and retail chain. The quality heads will speak on behalf of that. And 23rd, on that day, the topic would be on FSSSI acts and regulations, and also FPOs. The CEOs of FPO, they will come and talk about some of the success stories. So without wasting much more time, I hand over to Mr. Narasimha Nakshatri. Happy learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman Ankur Bhaumik, for excellent setting the context for today's webinar and also series of webinars. And now it is my duty to introduce today's both the speakers. One is Sri Arun Deshpande. He is the ABGP Rashtriya Sachiv. He is residing in Aurangabad, Maharashtra. Thank you so much, sir, for joining all the way from Pune to here. We would like to hear from all of us. We would like to hear from you. He is professionally an engineer and having own construction company. He is also ex-chairman of Maharashtra State Food Corporation. He is an ex-president of Maharashtra Consumer Welfare Advisory Committee. He is also, since 30 years, as a Swayam Sevak, as a consumer activist, serving in ABGP with different levels and having different responsibilities. Ex-president of ABGP and now holding the responsibility as an ABGP Rashtriya Sachiv and Margadarshak for ABGP Karyakartas. So thank you very much, sir. Now, Mr. Sri Arun Deshpande, he is going to talk on ABGP views on about food sector, and also to start the whole session of our ABGP consumer, the program starting from today till 31st. Will be the great thing. Second speaker after Arun Deshpande ji, Mr. Satya, who is the founder and CEO of Freshon.in, healthy grocery to your doorstep. He is the brain behind Freshon concept, and he is a social entrepreneur. He is sincerely working towards healthy society. Anything good is good, but food must be good. It is his thought, and more than 2 decades of an experience professionally as an engineer, worked in the software for 12 years, and the last 8 years he has a deep knowledge working with on the food sector, and he's going to speak on the food works. We would like to hear both from them. Now, to start with, I would request Mr. Arun Deshpande ji to speak on. Please, sir.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
BCIC के सभी अधिकारीगण, विशेष तौर पर उनके चेयरपर्सन बालाचंद्र जी, नक्षत्र जी, अंकुर जी, और अभी हमारे साथ में जो फ्रेशॉन के सत्य जी है, जो हमको सब कुछ बहुत कुछ बताने वाले हैं। ऐसे अब ग्राहक पंचायत के पदाधिकारी और ये वेबिनार को जितने भी जुड़े हुए ग्राहक है, सबको नमस्कार। ये बहुत अच्छा इवेंट है। ये बहुत ही अच्छा एक शुरुआत भी है अखिल भारतीय ग्राहक पंचायत और BCIC के साथ में मिलकर कंज्यूमर अवेयरनेस और इसके बारे में और भी क्या बता सकते हैं। ये 3 वेबिनार होने वाले हैं और भी हमारे 15 दिन लगातार बहुत सारे कार्यक्रम चलने वाले हैं। वास्तविक रूप से फूड और कंज्यूमर, फूड के या खाद्य पदार्थों के उत्पादक, ट्रेडर और ग्राहक, ये संबंध सदियों से चला आ रहा है। स्वाभाविक रूप से हम अगर पहले से देखेंगे, हम कभी भी कंज्यूमर या अर्थ का व्यवस्था का बारे में सोचते हैं तो एकदम चाणक्य जी हमको याद आते हैं, क्योंकि इज रिनाउंड अर्थशास्त्री है और उसमें सभी विषय जो है वो उन्होंने लिए हैं। तो हम जब से भी विचार अगर कर ले, यानी आज से 50 साल पहले, 100 साल पहले, 500 साल पहले, 1000, 2000 साल, कभी भी अगर समझो ये विचार किया हमने, तो स्वाभाविक रूप से ग्राहक की मैन्युफैक्चरर से या ट्रेडर से, दुकानदार से, व्यापारी से अपेक्षा 4 प्रकार की होती है। जो भी हम ले रहे हैं वो जो बोला जा रहा है वही है क्या, उसका दाम जो है, उसकी कॉस्ट जो है वो सही है क्या, उसकी शुद्धता ठीक है क्या। शुद्धता का दोनों तरफ से अर्थ हो जाएगा। एंड फाइनली वेदर इट इज सेफ टू कंज्यूम, वो सुरक्षिता है या नहीं है। ऐसे 4 बुनियादी, ये कब का भी विषय, 1000-2000 साल पहले से लेके आज तक का भी हमने ये विचार किया, तो ये किमान अपेक्षा ग्राहकों की मैन्युफैक्चरर, ट्रेडर और व्यापारियों के साथ से स्वाभाविक रूप से है। पहले तो मैं सभी हमारे फूड मैन्युफैक्चरर, ट्रेडर, इनको धन्यवाद देता हूं कि ग्राहकों की जरूरत जितनी भी है वो पूरा करने के लिए उनका रिसर्च जोर से शुरू रहता है और जो भी आवश्यकता है ग्राहकों की पूरी डेफिनेटली करवाने का वो प्रयत्न करते हैं। इसलिए फूड इंडस्ट्री एक बहुत बड़ा इसमें आयाम बना हुआ है। फूड इंडस्ट्री एक बहुत बड़ा सेक्टर बना हुआ है जहां पे बहुत सारा मतलब आर्थिक व्यवहार भी होता है। उसमें फूड मैन्युफैक्चरर्स है, उसमें ट्रेडर्स है और बाकी सर्विस देने वाले, रेस्टोरेंट चलाने वाले, छोटे मोटे दुकानदार, ये सभी उसमें आ जाते हैं। सो दिस इज ऑल टुगेदर फूड इंडस्ट्री। डेफिनेटली ग्राहक उनका धन्यवाद देते हैं। धन्यवाद क्यों देते हैं मैं आगे थोड़े से जाके बताता हूँ। पहली बात यह है कि उत्पादक 2 प्रकार के हैं। एक तो ग्राहक की जरूरत समझकर उत्पाद करना और दूसरा उत्पाद करके ग्राहक ढूंढना। उत्पाद करके ग्राहक ढूंढने वाले की मजा जरा और ही है, लेकिन जो ग्राहकों की जरूरत समझते हैं, ग्राहकों की आवश्यकता समझते हैं और उस तरह से ग्राहक के लिए वो व्यवस्था मैन्युफैक्चर करके और पूरा दे देते हैं, ये सबसे अहम बात है और वो बहुत ही अच्छा है। जैसे रेडी टू कुक वाले कुछ आइटम्स हैं, प्री कुक्ड आइटम है, स्विगी, जोमेटो, इनके द्वारा अभी हम घर तक जो भी चाहिए वो तुरंत मंगा सकते हैं। ऐसी मेनी मोर, ऐसे बहुत सारी बातें हैं जो घर के महिलाओं को, पुरुष को, सबके लिए एक सुविधा बनी हुई है। तो सुविधा तो निश्चित तौर पे ग्राहकों के लिए अच्छी ही है। कुछ बातें ऐसी है जो आउट ऑफ एडवर्टाइजमेंट जो की जाती है, वो जो कैटेगरी है, वो फर्स्ट दे आर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग देयर आइटम एंड देन फाइंडिंग द कंज्यूमर्स। जैसे हम एक वो टीवी पे जाहिरात देखते हैं, विज्ञापन देखते हैं कि सबका खाना वाना हो जाता है और कुछ मीठा हो जाए, तो एक्चुअली वो मीठी की जरूरत है नहीं वो टाइम में, दैट इज नॉट द आइटम टू बी एट दैट टाइम। लेकिन वो एक ऐड करके करके दिमाग के ऊपर डाल के और वो एडवर्टाइजमेंट करके अपने आगे चल जाते हैं। तो कोल्ड ड्रिंक्स के भी ऐसे है, एनर्जी ड्रिंक्स भी ऐसे हैं जिनके वास्तविक में आवश्यकता है या नहीं है इसका विचार हो सकता है, लेकिन बाकी बहुत सारी बातें ऐसी है जो फूड मैन्युफैक्चरर डेफिनेटली दे आर डूइंग वेरी वेल फॉर द कंज्यूमर। अभी ये तो हो गया हमारी धन्यवाद की बात और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, एंड सिंस इट इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट मतलब इकोनॉमी और उसके बारे में सोचने वाला एक विषय होने के कारण, और वो एक बहुत बड़ा इफेक्ट करने वाला है, इसके लिए ये धन्यवाद भी है और ये आवश्यकता भी है। लेकिन अभी जो विषय आगे आता है वो फेयर ट्रेड का, वेदर एवरीथिंग इज फेयरली गिवन टू द कंज्यूमर और नॉट, ये बातें जब आती है तो विषय फिर शुरू हो जाता है वो सेफ्टी विषय, जो आज का भी हमारा विषय है कि सेफ्टी के बारे में ही हमको सोचना है। मैं सबको ये बता देता हूँ, 86 में जो कंज्यूमर एक्ट आया है, सीपीआई कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट आया है, उसमें ग्राहकों के अधिकारों के बारे में जो लिखा है, उसमें पहला अधिकार उसका है सुरक्षितता का, सेफ्टी का अधिकार उसका है। तो सेफ्टी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और वो उसके बारे में जो होगी वो होगी, लेकिन 50% ये अधिकार का जो संबंध है वो फूड से आता है, क्योंकि हम फूड का सेवन करते हैं, वो लेते हैं, एंड वेदर इट इज हजार्डस टू द हेल्थ और नॉट, कि इसके बारे में ही बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बातें हो जाती है। और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आज की इस विषय में मुझे उसमें जरा ज्यादा जोर देना है, जो हम सुरक्षितता के बारे में सोचने वाले हैं।
हेलो,
हमारा इसमें 3 लोग हैं, मैन्युफैक्चरर है, कंज्यूमर है, और ये गवर्न करने वाली गवर्नमेंट है, जो कानून बनाती है और कानून का पालना करवा के ये सिस्टम ठीक से चलेगी ऐसा देखती है। फूड सेफ्टी के ऑफिसर्स वहां पे सब होते हैं, वो ये विषय देखते हैं। पहले हम देखेंगे कि कानून क्या है। इसमें पहले ऐसा है, मैं बड़े इससे साथ में आपके साथ में शेयर करना चाहता हूँ कि जब हम इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं थे उस वक्त लगभग 30s के 1932 या 37 का एक एक्ट पास हुआ था, जो लगभग आज जो चालू है 2006 में जो आया था उसके बराबरी का है। क्योंकि उस वक्त भी हमारे पास में अंग्रेजों का राज था, और आज एमएनसी जो है वो उसका इसके ऊपर काफी जोरों में असर है। क्या था वो कानून? तो 37 में जो भी कानून था, उसके बाद में हम 47 में स्वतंत्र हो गए, और 52 में एक जो एक्ट है वो एक्ट चालू हो गया है, फूड सेफ्टी एक्ट, उसका नाम भी ऐसा ही था, फूड एडल्ट्रेशन के संबंध में वो था। वो एक्ट ऐसा था कि इट वाज गवर्न बाय सीआरपीसी, मतलब वो कोई भी, मतलब उसमें जो भी कुछ गड़बड़ हो जाएगी तो वो इट वाज कंसिडर एज ए क्रिमिनल एक्ट। अब जब वो क्रिमिनल एक्ट होता था तो पुलिस नेचुरली उसमें इंटरवेंशन होता था, तो दुकानदार या मैन्युफैक्चरर ये सोचते थे कि ऐसा दुकानदार के पास में कोई पुलिस या खाकी वर्दी वाला व्यक्ति आ गया तो वो उसको इज्जत की बात समझता था। इट वाज, वो बाद में तो ये करेंगे कि वो गलत थे या नहीं थे, लेकिन वो पहले दिन जो पुलिस आते थे उसके कारण एडल्ट्रेशन करने वाले लोग जो है वो थोड़े से बहुत ही सोच समझ के ये विचार करते थे, उनको डर था इस बात का। 2006 में जो 2011 में एक्ट लागू हुआ है, वो एक्ट के तहत उसमें 2 कैटेगरी की गई, हजार्डस टू द हेल्थ, नॉन हजार्डस टू द हेल्थ। हजार्डस टू द हेल्थ जो है वो क्रिमिनल एक्ट में जाएगा, नॉन हजार्डस जो है वो क्रिमिनल में नहीं जाएगा। वो सादा उसके सिविल इंक्वायरी होगी, वहीं पे एक डिप्टी सीएम लेवल, डिप्टी कमिश्नर लेवल का व्यक्ति रहेगा और वो उसकी पैरवी करेगा, एंड दैट केस विल बी रिजॉल्व बाय पेनल्टी, नॉट एनी, उसको शिक्षा नहीं कुछ होने, खाली पेनल्टी, फाइन देके वो सेटल हो जाएगी। जैसा मैं पनीर बनाने वाला हूं और पनीर में मैंने पोटैटो मिक्स कर दिया है और ये सिद्ध हो गया कि ये उसमें पोटैटो था, तो पोटैटो इज नॉट हजार्डस। सो मुझे क्या होगा, वो 5,000 रुपए का जुर्माना करेगा और वो जुर्माना करके मैं छोड़ जाऊंगा। अगर मैंने ये दोबारा कर दिया तो मेरा लाइसेंस कैंसिल होगा। मतलब 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 और उसको भी वो लिमिट दे दी है कि फर्स्ट ऑफिसर विल कैन ओनली गिव द पेनल्टी ऑफ 5,000। तो मतलब इतना ये कानून जो है वो एकदम नाजुक है, कोई ज्यादा उसके में ताकत नहीं है, क्योंकि हजार्डस है ये सिद्ध होने के लिए काफी समय लगता है, और जो हजार्डस नहीं है, लेकिन इफ आई एम आस्किंग फॉर द पनीर, I should get paneer. If I am asking for particular thing, then that should be without any adulteration. That is the basic thing. सीधी बात है कि हम अगर कोई एक प्लॉट खरीदते हैं और वो प्लॉट खरीदते वक्त थोड़ा सा उसने पेपर में गड़बड़ी कर दी थी, दैट कम्स अंडर 420। अगर मैं आपके साथ में कुछ व्यवहार कर लूं, उसमें थोड़ा सा कुछ गड़बड़ी कर दूं, तो दैट अगेंस्ट कम इनटू 420। और व्हेन आई एम आस्किंग फॉर ए फूड, और वो मैं मांग रहा हूं आपको सरसों का ऑयल, और आप उसमें पाम तेल मिक्स करके दे रहे हैं, तो बेसिकली यू आर चीटिंग मी, मतलब वन सॉर्ट ऑफ चीटिंग ही है। तो एक्चुअली बट ये लॉबी जो है, ये लॉबी ने एक प्रेशर डाल के उसको स्प्लिट कर दिया, और वो स्प्लिट करके और ये कानून आ गया। अखिल भारतीय ग्राहक पंचायत इज फाइटिंग फॉर दिस कि दिस शुड कम अंडर द क्रिमिनल एक्ट। फिर बाद में वो कौन से क्लॉजेस लगाना, क्या लगाना, वो बात अलग है, लेकिन जब तक के इसको क्रिमिनल नहीं बोला जाएगा तब तक बेसिकली इट इज क्राइम। यू आर चीटिंग टू समवन, वो मांग रहा है आपको कुछ और दे रहे हो कुछ कुछ मिक्स करके दे रहे हैं। मैं इट में भी हजार्डस, इट में नॉट बी हजार्डस। आपको एक उदाहरण देता हूं। घी, अभी जो वनस्पति घी होता है, वो घी में चर्बी मिला देते हैं एनिमल की चर्बी मिलाया, वो ये भी हो गया, आइडेंटिफाई भी हो गया। तो एनिमल की चर्बी जो है इट इज नॉट हजार्डस, तो वो छूट जाता है 5,000 रुपए देके। मतलब ये अपना कानून जो है इतना ये है, इसके बारे में हम सबको सोचना चाहिए। अखिल भारतीय ग्राहक पंचायत इज डेफिनेटली बिहाइंड दिस। तो इसमें तो दूसरा एक विषय जो है वो शायद आप मैन्युफैक्चरर है, इसमें कुछ लोग व्यापारी है, तो वो भी इसमें के बारे में सोचेंगे। ये जो ब्लेंडिंग की, पर्टिकुलरली ऑयल का ब्लेंडिंग की जो परमिशन दी है, वो भी कैंसिल होना चाहिए। इफ मुझे सनफ्लावर का ये चाहिए, ऑयल चाहिए, so I will get sunflower, only pure sunflower। मुझे पाम ऑयल चाहिए, I will get पाम ऑयल। मुझे सरसों का चाहिए तो मैं सरसों का ले लूंगा। अभी क्या कर रहे हैं ये कि ब्लेंडिंग, और ये ब्लेंडिंग का परमिशन ही नहीं देना चाहिए इन एनी केस। हाँ, व्हेन इट इज वो कुक कर रहे हैं या रेडी फूड बना रहे हैं, then okay, that is to be manufactured, that is to be mixed with so many things। आपको एक हंसी वाली बात बताता हूँ। बेसन हम लेते हैं, बेसन मीन्स हरभरा चना का दाल का जो पाउडर होता है वो। अभी बेसन, प्योर बेसन मांगने के लिए चले जाओ तो वो महंगा है, तो ये क्या करते हैं, ऊपर लिख देते हैं भुजिया का पाउडर। अभी भुजिया पाउडर, और उसमें फिर नीचे इंग्रेडिएंट लिखना पड़ता है, तो वो लिखते हैं कि 90% चना दाल, 10% तुअर दाल, ये समथिंग समथिंग। तो अभी हाउ कैन वी नो दैट ही हैज मिक्स्ड ओनली 10%? अभी चना दाल 40 रुपए है, ये 20 रुपए वाला टुकड़ा ये करके पाउडर करके उसमें अगर मिलाने वाला है, तो वो 15% है या 20% है या 10% है। ये इतना हमारे पास में लेबोरेटरीज भी नहीं है इतना अपडेटेड, और फिर कोई ग्राहक इतना भी करेगा भी नहीं। जो बड़े मैन्युफैक्चरर है, दे आर वरीड अबाउट देयर नेम, देयर ब्रांड, वो नहीं ये ना करेंगे। लेकिन हमारे पास में तो छोटे मोटे उद्योजक भी होते हैं, छोटे उद्योजक अच्छे भी होते हैं, छोटे उद्योजक बुरे भी होते हैं। लालच एक ऐसी चीज है जिसमें कॉस्ट कटिंग के नाम पे ये छोटी मोटी जो बातें हैं वो करते हैं। इसलिए ब्लेंडिंग का भी एक विषय जो है वो भी थोड़ा सा विचार करने जैसा है। अखिल भारतीय ग्राहक पंचायत हैज गिवन दी वन प्रेजेंटेशन टू गवर्नमेंट कि कम से कम ऑयल में तो ये निकाल दीजिए। समझो मुझे मेरा बजट जो है, ये बजट थोड़ा सा ये हो जाता है, इसलिए सनफ्लावर का ऑयल मैंने 1 लीटर ला लिया, और पाम ऑयल 1 लीटर डाल लिया, दोनों मिलके आई विल ब्लेंड इट, मुझे जितना चाहिए मैं मिक्स कर लूंगा। भाई आप क्यों ब्लेंड करते हैं? क्यों आप ब्लेंड करने के बाद में हमको इतना भरोसा ही नहीं है कि जो परसेंटेज आप बता रहे हैं 2% के हिसाब से ये हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है। दूसरा, अभी कल परसों की ही बात है, ये दूसरा जो हमारा अधिकार है वो अधिकार आता है जो आप बोलते हैं वो सही है या नहीं है। तो वेज और नॉन वेज, सी ये तो मेरा बेसिक और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अधिकार है कि मैं क्या फेथ रखूं, क्या बिलीफ रखूं। तो अगर मुझे एनिमल का बिल्कुल क्या बोलते हैं छोटा सा भी अंश उसमें है तो मुझे नहीं चलेगा। आप वो कितना है क्या नहीं है, ओनली फॉर सेक ऑफ दिस थिंग दैट थिंग वी आर यूजिंग इट, इट इज अ माइनर यूज, इसलिए हमने नहीं लिखा वगैरह, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। हम तो चमड़े के बर्तन अगर है तो उसमें भी नहीं खाते, हालांकि उसको खाली टच होता है, उसमें थोड़ा मिक्स होने वाला रहता है, बट नो, हम लेदर बेल्ट पहन के खाना नहीं खाते हैं। सो इट इज माई बिलीफ कि हम नहीं करना चाहते। तो इसलिए अभी कल परसों एक सुप्रीम कोर्ट से भी, हाई कोर्ट से भी एक काफी अच्छा बड़ा ये आया था। तो वो क्या बोलते उसको, डायसोडियम क्या इनोसाइनाइट, ये एनिमल का पीक का इसके पास से लेते हैं। एक्चुअली वो बहुत कम यूज करते हैं पर्टिकुलर किसी इसमें, लेकिन किसी ने अपनी एक केस डाल दी तो गवर्नमेंट है मतलब कोर्ट ने तो उनको बहुत ही सख्त ये बता दिया कि यू आर डीलिंग विद द सेंटिमेंट ऑफ पीपल, तो उसमें आपका रेड डॉट लगाना ही जरूरी है। तो ये भी एक विषय जो है ये हमेशा काफी इसका बन जाता है। फूड अडल्ट्रेशन के बारे में ही सबसे अहम बात जो है वो मैं फोकस करना चाहता था, या इसमें बात तो एक बिल्कुल निश्चित है कि जोमेटो, स्विगी, रेडी टू नूडल्स, ये वो सब अगर आप जो बोलते हैं वही देते हैं और जो हजारडस नहीं है हमारे लिए वो ना हो, इतनी ही अगर व्यवस्था कर दे, और उसकी कीमत जो है, कीमत के बारे में ज्यादा इसलिए नहीं बोलना चाहूंगा कि आपके ही कॉम्पिटिटर इतने रहते हैं कि यू योरसेल्फ मैचिंग इट, क्योंकि आपको मालूम है कि सस्ता रहेगा तो ही लेने वाला है। तो आपका कॉम्पिटिटर जो होता है वो निश्चित रूप से कॉम्पीट करने के लिए वो कीमत जो है वो तो बराबर उसकी आ जाती है। लेकिन ये सब करते हुए सबसे अहम बात जो तो आ जाती है वो फूड अडल्ट्रेशन में। और जब फूड अडल्ट्रेशन का विषय आ जाता है तो हमारा 2000 अभी जो 19 में एक्ट आया है या 86 का जो एक्ट है उसमें हमारा पहला अधिकार ही जो है ये सुरक्षितता का है। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये इसी के ऊपर ही हमने जरा ज्यादा से ज्यादा जोर देना चाहिए। बाकी रिसर्च आपका होता है मैन्युफैक्चरर्स का, उसकी टीम हो जाती है, वो देखते हैं कि ग्राहक को जितना ज्यादा से ज्यादा आलसी बनाए उतना अच्छा है, इसलिए वो पहले हाफ कुक, फिर रेडी टू कुक, फिर बाद में फिर कुकड, ऐसे सभी बातें देने के वजह से वो अपना सुविधा देते रहते हैं। लेकिन ठीक है, ग्राहक भी सुविधा लेना ही चाहता है, उसको भी अपना समय बचाने का है, इसके कारण वो इस विषय में डेफिनेटली कुछ ना कुछ तो आगे चले ही जाता है। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ग्राहक की जो बेसिक अपेक्षा है वो जो चाहता है उतना ही उसको मिले। जो आप लिखते हैं, भले कानून कितने भी है, कानून से भी क्या बोलते हैं उसको, थोड़ा सा इधर उधर भटकने का जो चांस रहता है उतना आप तो मिला ही लेते हैं मैन्युफैक्चरर। और जो लिखा वाला है एंड इट शुड नॉट बी द हजार्डस टू द हेल्थ, हजार्डस का शब्द प्रयोग मुझे जरा बहुत ही ये लगता है। अभी आप एक उदाहरण देके 2 मिनट में मैं मेरा वक्तव्य पूरा करूंगा। मुझे अच्छा याद है 90 के आसपास फार्मर्स को सब्सिडी देके जर्सी गाय जो विदेशी काऊ है वो गाय देके उसको सब्सिडी देके उसको वो बहुत किया है। धीरे धीरे अगले 30 साल में 35 साल में क्या हुआ है कि जर्सी गाय का दूध इज नॉट गुड फॉर, तो क्या होता है 20 साल के बाद में 30 साल के बाद में उसको कैंसर हो जाता है। अगर ये होता है तो आज पाम तेल के बारे में भी ऐसा ही है। तो पाम तेल का यूज करने से अगर आज नहीं लेकिन 20 साल के बाद में फर्क पड़ने वाला है, 30 साल के बाद में फर्क पड़ने वाला है, तो व्हाई गवर्नमेंट इज अलाउइंग अस टू कंज्यूम इट। और ग्राहक ये हमारे जो कार्यकर्ता है इनका भी यही एक कर्तव्य है कि ग्राहक को वो जागरूक करे कि ये मत खाइए, ये मत खाइए। अभी एडल्ट्रेशन के बारे में तो बहुत सारा कुछ आता है। चाय की पत्ती में टारकोल डाल देते हैं। अभी अगर हम सालों साल टारकोल वाला चाय थोड़ा थोड़ा पीते रहेंगे तो 20 साल के बाद में क्या होगा भाई। इट इज मतलब ये नहीं बोल सकते हम कि वो आज हजारदस नहीं है, आज तो कुछ हम मर गए नहीं है, आज तो कोई फेटल एक्सीडेंट भी नहीं हुआ है। लेकिन ये केवल उतना नहीं है, इन फ्यूचर वेदर इट इज वेरी गुड फॉर कंज्यूमिंग है या नहीं है, 20 साल 30 साल सोचना चाहिए। अगर हम ये नहीं सोचेंगे तो फिर क्या सोचेंगे। वही हो रहा है ना कि हम जिस तरह से आज फास्ट फूड वाला या वो इंस्टेंट वाले जो आइटम खाते हैं, तो वो हमारा आरोग्य डिपार्टमेंट बताता है कि बच्चों में जो मतलब 20 साल या 30 साल के अंदर ही डायबिटीज भी आ रहा है, बीपी भी आ रहा है। वो क्यों आ रहा है? तो इसके जो कारण है, ये कारण भी हमको सोच के इसके ऊपर भी थोड़ा सा कानूनन क्या क्या कर सकते हैं वो सोचना चाहिए, ऐसा मुझे लगता है। आप सभी ने मेरा वक्तव्य बहुत बड़ी ध्यान से सुना है, लेकिन ग्राहकों की अपेक्षा इंडस्ट्री की तरफ से इतनी ही है कि आप जो बोलते हैं वो हमको दे दीजिए, इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं है। इट शुड बी वेरी क्लीन, उसमें विषय ही नहीं है कि आप लिखने वाले क्या है और बोलने वाले क्या है। फेयर ट्रेडिंग करना ये हमारा आपसे अपेक्षा करते हैं। धन्यवाद, सभी का धन्यवाद देते हुए मैं अपने वक्तव्य को विराम देता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
Thank you very much, Arun. Thank you very much, Arun Deshpande ji. I think it was so we have got so enlightenment by hearing about the consumers, manufacturers, and their duties and responsibilities to give the safe food to us. Now, I would request Mr. Since I think all of us we have understood when you spoke in Hindi, but even then, I want Mr. Nadik ji to. Huh?
Exactly, his Hindi was very saral, very simple, and
very
almost everybody has understood. I will give you in 4 sentences.
Yes, please.
Sir, mix with English. So
Yeah, please.
I'll give in 4 sentences. See, Arunji, in his words, he has told that it is a good event to go together along with the BCIC and spread the consumer awareness in the public. It will go in a large scale, and that is the intent of all of us, I feel. And the second thing is, in realistic terms, he has told that in the food industry, the consumer, producers, traders, how they are placed, and then how they are supposed to be, and then the sellers are to sell what exactly the consumers are required. Consumers usually they require at good price and what exactly they want and at a good quality, and at the same time it must be as safe as it is required for the consumer. And the next one, while telling, he has given the stress on the hazardous and non-hazardous differentiation in the act. And he said non-hazardous, since it is taken little lightly from the court of law, ABGP stresses to be made criminal offense, since it is again it is a sort of 420 cheating approach towards the public. And coming to the last, he was telling now the government actually is supposed to think ahead, instead of they are doing something in the beginning, and then they later, after 20-30 years, when they found it is hazardous or it is adverse, giving adverse effect to the consumer, and taking back the law, it is taking back its ordinances. It is better to think ahead and to go proactive and to give to the public what exactly they require, especially from the health point of view, since the food is playing a vital role. The government as well as the consumers have to think in these lines. So for the betterment of all of us, it is better to both of us to be proactive and to make the consumer aware about what exactly they need and what exactly the traders have to do, and government in between what best role they can play. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sri Dattatreya Nadigji, the branch secretary of ABGP Karnataka, for excellently putting all the views put up by the Arun Deshpandeji in English. Thank you so much. Now, I would request Mr. Satya, the CEO of Fresh On Food, to present the food works, please. Thank you, Mr. Satya, please.
Namaste Nakshatra ji. Thank you so much for giving an opportunity. And I have very high regards on ABGP, the way it is taking up. And as I'm always be with a consumer end, I really have high regards and high expectations on ABGP to bring some good changes in our society to keep them safe of our consumers. And thank you, Mr. Ankur Chairman, Ankur ji, and thank you so much, Arun Deshpande ji. I strongly support his words. Each and every words what he said has a deep meaning of it, and where he said about the food safety. Unfortunately, sir, Arun Deshpande sir, as you said, food safety is lacking. The words what I'm saying is it's a collective information. We have a team of people where 30 plus industry expertise. The information what I'm sharing insights now, it is a collective one, and the food is not up to the mark what our consumers are having now. So that's why we are more focusing on educating the consumers. They cannot take it as a granted. You know, the lot of adulteration is happening, as Arun sir said. Lot of adulteration is happening, including the oils, and our Indian groceries is highly potential for adulteration. If you take dals, pulses, flours, rava, suji, jaggery, you name it, and even fruits and vegetables. There is a two kind of adulteration, where one is in we call this, we divide it in two ways. One is intentional adulteration, and the second one is unintentional adulteration. Unintentional adulteration happens in the farm level, where that innocent farmers also not aware the kind of chemicals what he's spraying is harmful for consumers, but to protect his own crop and to get a better yield, he is forced to go with some fertilizers and chemicals, including some synthetic chemicals, which is really harmful to us. And coming to the intentional adulteration, there is a lot of practices post harvesting. It's what's happening, like fumigation. The act of a fumigation, what government has decided, is not what is getting implemented. It's very harmful chemical fumigation is happening, and preservatives are adding more and more, and value element is taking out. To give an example, I'll give you one example, like turmeric. If you take curcumin is the main content. Because of that existence of a curcumin, what we are getting that antibiotic, anti-cancer values, all those things. But unfortunately, in some places, that curcumin bean get extracted. Once it's been removed from the turmeric powder, the turmeric powder color get loses. So they are adding synthetic metallic yellow color to that and bring back to the natural color and throwing in the market. So where here the grahak is very innocent, hardworking guy, he might not have a knowledge of all those things. He rushed to the shop nearby and he pick up the one item which is affordable or branded or something. So he comes and start cooking and eating and going back next day. So he has not done any mistake. The consumer is so innocent, he has not done any mistake. Somebody has done a mistake and consumer is getting affected to it. That's where it's very much pain point to me to stress more on this. The food has to be a safe. Anything adulteration is fine, the second part of it, but food should not be get adulterated, because once it is taken, we can't bring it out. For example, if this shirt is adulterated or something has happened to this torn, we can remove it and we can have it the new one, but food not in that way. That's one point to strengthen Arun Deshpande sir's words. I just share some insights about the adulteration part of it. We can discuss more about the adulteration in the next future session when I get an opportunity. But now in this session, I would like to stress more about the food works. It really works. Dear all, please, food really working to us if you little focus on it. So we just made a caption for this that if you want a proof, start eating the good food. It's really working for it. I'll just give you how it some highlights to it. See, when we are feeling hungry, so it doesn't mean we need to have a rice, chapati, all tea, coffee, juices, and all those things. Before to that, one thing we all should understand that when we are feeling hungry, the body is asking for nutrients, and we need to understand whether the food what we are providing to our body has that nutrients or it has a chemicals. So we need to little aware about that things what we are feeding, whether we are feeding nutrients or chemicals. See, is your food is safe for consumption? I always say about this part is there is a purpose of eating, as my second slide shows. The filling the nutrients is very important. But unfortunately, nowadays most of the kids and younger generation they are eating because of the taste. If the food is not taste, they are ready to skip, and most of other people are filling because of hungry too. They are just eating because of filling the hungry. So but the important factor is every meal is an opportunity to nourish our body. So we need to be very much aware about whether the food what we are having is safe for consumption or not. There is a little exercise of it, there is a solution for it, you need not to be worried. I'll highlight you in the further slides. So as Arun sir said about the common problems in a society is the food adulteration. Yes, sir, it is really high part of it. Every things is getting adulterated day by day, and a few paper cuttings and few things where I mentioned here. Even if you take as a fruits, vegetables, dals, pulses, anything is it's very much potential for adulteration. So if you could see even a pepper, it's been coated with cancer causing oils. So if you could see in the left side and the top Times of India, we got the 44% of food samples in the last 3 months found adulterated. So we need to be very careful. Even a seeds, the festival time, the seeds what's getting prepared, we need to be very careful on where we are procuring it. And pesticides and heavy metals found even in organic rices. Lack of food safety is killing 2.2 million every year. This is a really pain point. We need to be little focus on this, and I'm pretty confident that ABGP seriously can take up on this. And the cancer, I'll tell you, dear, when I was a child, this word, the cancer, was not there. So I'll tell you a small example. I have seen on movie called Geetanjali. I couldn't understand. The climax went off. Both hero and heroine both got affected with the cancer. Being that word was not there, there was no echo in the society. We most of us couldn't understand why they died or why the movie has ended in that way. But now, if you could ask even a smallest kid, everybody knows about the cancer. So one of my doctors said that if we are not focusing on this, in the down the line, in within a few years, every house will witness the cancer patients. So we need to be very careful about it. It's all because of the food. The main cause is the food. If you are conscious about your food, what you are eating it, and trust me, all this we can be eradicated. Absolutely, that's a proven concept where our ancestors have lived. So all that they have done, they might not be so much educated, they are not much have technology as such we are having it, but all that they know the core basics that eating a good food, keep them healthy. That's what I'm reiterating here. All these new fancy cancers and all those can be removed by eating a good food. So 80% of all premature deaths. Few of the contents I have taken from the existing articles to make aware that how serious the problem it is, because most of them said that yes, food adulteration is happening, and we have come across in WhatsApps and emails and everywhere. But the duration, the time when we are seeing that adulteration, will we get shocked to see that. But again, we are back to the square. We are not taking any action on it. The same grocery store we are going, same restaurant we are going, we are continue to go with the same fashion. So this is a high time, dear all. We have to take a call to move back to the good food. Here I have listed a few adulterations. The listed, I'll share you the presentation if you need further to go through in detail. But one of as I said in the beginning, I have expertise in around to me to advise and guide me further to take this project to the next level. Out of that, one he is a director in food test lab. He's a very senior person. He has more than 24 years of experience in the food test. And he was telling, I was sharing this insights. I said, his name is Mr. Matthew. I said, Matthew, this is how the adulteration is happening. How we can be addressed? We are not here to blame others and point out others. They are doing this or all those things. No, what we can do to stop this adulteration, rather blaming, what is the solution we can get it. I had multiple discussions with him, and one day I carried this presentation, what I'm showing here, and he was telling that Satya, this is all little outdated one. The adult trends are so aggressive they are. By the time, as a food technologist, I find the chemical A being mixed here. By the time I identify the A is mixed, they are mixing C. By the time we are identifying the C is being mixed in this, they are mixing EF. They are so aggressive on it. For example, earlier days, when olden days when I was a child, jaggery, if it is in a very light color, we all used to consider that this is a neat, clean part of it. But we didn't know that the background story that they are mixing detergents, literally detergents, they are mixing to get that whitish color. Now the trend has changed because this organic and all, the trend has changed. Darker the jaggery is the better. So they know how to make the darker. So we need to be very careful in that every part, every meal what we are eating it. This is a few adult trends, what's happening in each article and the harmful effects to it. Due to the short of time, I couldn't able to go through all those things. And foodborne illness costs 28 billion a year. That means if in INR 2 lakhs crores is getting spent for foodborne illness every year. We are also part of it. For this slide example, I'll tell you, every day, every week, every month, the new hospitals are popping up, new medical shops popping up, and new diagnostic centers are coming up. I'm not against to them, but we are all becoming a consumer patients to them all. These hospitals are good for an emergency sake, but we are youngsters also getting joined in hospitals because of somebody has done a mistake. That food we have taken, and we are going to be part of it. One of a senior doctor in Jaidev Hospital was telling when he has started his practice, the youngsters used to bring the old people for an hospitals for illness, but now the trend has changed. The old people are bringing the youngsters to the hospitals. That is the saddest part. We need to be very careful, please. And this is one article we found in Times of India says, if adulteration is not put a stop, this has to be put a stop. There is no excuse for it. India's population would be suffering from serious and fatal diseases like a cancer by end of 2025. Very unfortunate. Please join our hands, and BGP is there in front of us to work on this. We are going to let's stop this adulteration. Rather blaming and all those things, let's work towards to stop this adulteration. So keeping food safety is a global responsibility. Here in this responsibility, we all should join our hands together. As a consumer, while you are eating, we should not go behind like an offers and discounts, all those things. And you need to be aware how this food is grown, from where the food has come, and who is selling this. The person who is selling, whether he has a knowledge on it. I'll tell you a small example for this. When we are buying a car or any vehicle and all, we do a lot of groundworks, and we do the research, and we go to the showrooms. We spend a lot of time, and we ask the neighbors expertise and take a review, take a trial test run and all those things. Then finally we land up to the one car is suitable to us. The same person, when he goes for the food or grocery section, he never bothered about all those things. He just picked up, and most of the people, They are finding this as a pain point. Grocery purchasing is not a pain point. Please understand, it's a very crucial role. Every month, the kind of food what you are buying, the rest of 1 month, the one day, the task what you are doing, the rest of 1 month, it feeds you at your home. So need to be very careful. One of the quotation I made is your monthly grocery is showing you are healthy. The bill of your monthly grocery can show how much healthy you are going to be. So we need to be, everybody has to be responsible for this food safety and all. And now it's high time. Let's join hands, start screening what you're eating at. It's very simple. I'll tell you about this. Yeah, this is what even Nakshatra sir was also talking about. Anything good is good, but food must be good. I'm very strong on this statement. Food must be good because all we are living, all we are doing, everything after we. That means after we are healthy. If you are unhealthy, what's the point of having that so much big bungalows, car, gold, all those things, assets and all? First, we need to be happy and healthy. For that happiness and healthy, the food is very important. That food which is deriving from the grocery store. Please understand, everyone, we have a very strong association or relationship, rather association relationship with every grocery store. Lifelong, from the birth to the till the death, we have a very strong relationship with grocery store. So here is the main thing will come up. We need to be very careful and analyze how many stores are available in and around, and go to the place, understand how they're bringing it, and do some little exercises and stay back to them. Once you find they are genuinely providing you that unadulterated, non-chemical the food, then you stay with them. That's a small change, it brings you big impact. That's where I said I'll give you a small tips to you. This is how the food works. Just a 1 year, follow my words, identify the good store and go to there and stay with them for that food for 1 year. You'll see the big changes in your life and your health part of it. This is what I was talking about, the story about the good food begins in reliable grocery store. This is a high time, dear, and please don't go behind the offers and discounts and endorsements. Somebody has done all those things. So I don't think so. The lady or heroine who are endorsing, I don't know whether they are using that product or not. Rather, going through all of them, we are very much well educated. That information is handy at across. So identified and go and stay with a healthy grocery store. So this is where I feel myself a little proud enough that as long as you are in the food business, that a great service to the nation. See, to if you want to pay back to the society, or if you want to do something to the nation, the best way is one of the best ways to offer the good food. So I have a very much high regards on every consumer. I always tell them that consumer is a really god to us. The wise is assume that one consumer is paid 100 rupees, means most of that part will goes to the farmer for the production what you've taken. The rest of things will get spread to the employees and expenditures and all those things. The finally the 1 rupee what is left to us, with that 1 rupee, me and my family, and literally I'm talking about my family, and we are all eating because of that 1 rupee. That means is the consumer is feeding to me today. So I need to be very cautious. The person who is feeding to me, I need to be very cautious to be take care of him. He is like like a mother. How we take care of a mother, the same way the consumer. He should be highly taken care person. He should never be get cheated. Honestly, because he is the person who is feeding to us, and we need to be very careful towards the consumer. Yeah, this is a small introduction about the Fresh On. Fresh On is mainly we committed for healthy grocery to the doorstep. We did a groundwork for 3 years. I was basically an IT person. I spent most of my time professional work in my IT sector. And once I moved out and wanted to start my grocery sector, so I have an habit of understanding the depth before executing of it. In the course of understanding the depth of this food and all those things, that's where I got to know the adulteration. Then I spent 3 years hard work time for understanding why this adulteration, how we can stop all those things. And even after 3 years, one of my IT guy comes to me and said, Satya, you looks like you're not fit for this business. Come back to the IT, because to start up this kind of organization is That means they say that go to the wholesale and get it and rebrand it and sell it. This is what the suggestions they have given me. This will hardly take 1 week. But I said, I explained the complete depth of it, how the adulteration is happening, how is human is getting impacted all. Then they have realized what the work what we are doing it. All we source from the origin place. Understand where we are educating the farmers there. We are encouraging them. The toughest part what we are facing, I would like to share with you today is the toughest part is identifying the genuine farmer. Really, unfortunately, we are not finding that genuine farmer who is aware, who respects their motherland and not adding any kind of chemicals and all. Hardly we find, because of my expertise references, I find a few of the farmers. We have well taken care since from last 9 years. They are quite happy with us. In fact, we have created a pool of farmers around who are doing the very non-chemical practices now. We are quite happy what the product we are selling. We are more confident on it. We are encouraging the farmers. The two things what we are doing. One is we are uplifting the farmers who are doing the genuine farming, and we are uplifting the consumers also. So these two people has to be happy and healthy at the end. In this, the each transaction should happen is what my intention. So here is the fresh on solution matrix is we source from the origin, as I said, and we have our own warehouse to process and grading and all those things. We do the all the preliminary testings and validations of each product and every batch, and we have a full proof of a store. From there, it comes to the delivery to the consumers. So these are milestones what I was talking about before executing this project. Definitely it's required so much of effort is what I felt. So understood 3.5 years of rigorous works we have done. We found a team of people, warehouse technologies, everywhere to avoid the plastic. So much, we are attached to the plastics. Initially, we found very difficult to come out from the packing system. To give an example, so for a packing and all, plastic is it's by default is what everybody has considered. But we spent good little time on it, and packing we have moved out from the plastics and going to the biodegradable covers and the paper packing. What we are doing it like this every stage. We have done a lot of groundworks to reach to the consumers because the consumer should be unhealthy, and we wanted to prove that this food works to them and they have to turn back towards eating a good food. This quotation is very much important. The good food always ends with a good talk. Definitely. And if we are going with the good foods, we'll always be happy on it. Before conclusion, I would like to share you my own experience, my family experience. When I was in IT sector, so one in my family, one or other people used to be in touch with the hospitals. My wife, kids, or my parents or that wasn't an abnormal for us earlier days. It was a common to us, and my nearest doctors and nearest medical shop numbers were popping in the top itself. So, but once after I moved to the conscious food about the fresh and whatever we are selling, everything is in our kitchen. So since for last 4 years, we have been consciously eating of this, and we are all forgotten the last time when we went to hospital. Touchwood, really, I'm talking about. We all forgotten when we went to the hospitals, including my kids. Now we are realizing that how abnormal the life we used to live earlier. So we can live healthy, happily, without any hospitality dependency, unless as an emergency. We can happily live here. That's where I got even more confident. Earlier, when I started that, our food should not be chemical, should not be adulterated. That's what we have to serve to the consumers. But in the course of this, when we are having such good food, it has improved a lot in our health. And even my kids, even today, they are 10 years and 12 years old, they don't even get a cold. Even if they get a cold, common cold also, next day it's a clear to them. We need not be bothered about. Even my example, when I was in IT sector, if I get a cold, it definitely takes to the worst level. Today is a cold, tomorrow is a pain, running nose, and then cough conversion. It's a body pains. I have to down for 3 days, take antibiotics, then get up. This is how most of us we are going through. But here, once you move to this food, real food, organic food, you never bother. The food can take care of it. That's how it is. Strongly, I am believing it. And thank you so much for giving an opportunity. I'm open to answer if you have any questions to us. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Satyaji. I think it was a wonderful. I think I never heard such a beautiful, thoughtful, enlightened speech. I think you have undergone so much of pain and you have started the business. Thank you so much. It was so nice of you. Uh, Now, if anybody has got quickly, I will take one or two questions. Then I will request Mr. Prakash to sum up and give the vote of thanks, please. If any questions, we can take one or two, please. To Satya or to Arun Deshpande ji. Okay, if there are no questions, then I will request Mr. Prakash.
Yeah.
Will you please sum up and give the vote of thanks, please?
Am I audible?
Please, please. Yes, yes.
Audible. Okay. Yeah. I think first of all, I would repeat what Nakshitriji said. I think this was an excellent session, actually. Excellent session from 2 points of view. One is, I think, most important is we are talking about consumer health and consumer, food safety and consumer health, which is very important. One blanket statement I have is this is not 7 to 8 o'clock in the evening is not a generally comfortable time for any of these kinds of meetings, but very good that we have people, we have speakers, we have organizers, we have participants at this odd hour, and I thank everybody for being present at this which I would call as an odd hour, but on an important subject. That is one thing. And then very frankly, I didn't know too much about this ABGP at all, the details and all that. Very glad that I'm aware and there is such a strong organization. Thank Arun Deshpande ji for an excellent presentation. Actually, I think his presentation was very good. He talked about why both I think Satya and Deshpande ji talked about why consumer protection is important and why food plays an important role even in the consumer protection. Actually, I 100% believe food is what makes a man. Actually, when I say man, man or woman. So that is one thing. And then Dattatreya Nadik ji also helped us in understanding or making brief points in English. That is one. And then I think it was very, what happened with the whole session is Arun Deshpande ji started with the problems present and also talked about the processes, procedures and all that. Finally, Satya ended with there are solutions. This is something. One is we have problems, we have the process, we have solutions. So people will have to look at the solutions. That was good, actually. There were many examples. I think both of you gave us many examples which are really very, very excellent. If I would just indicate one or 2 points, I think I don't know about the strength of ABGP as far as the technicality is concerned. My suggestion would be yes, ABGP should grow as a technically strong organization. One is being a representative body of consumers. If they are also technically strong, when I say technically, both scientific and traditional wisdom, if it is available, they can put forth the same thing in a better way to the government, to the industry, to the whoever it is, including consumers. That is one thing. And then yeah, some things many people do not even realize that the importance of food safety at all. Food, as both of you said, people would feel yes, it is to just feel the need of our hunger. My own example, I'll tell you, I have worked in the food safety aspect in industry for almost 20 years, and the last 5 years has been a change. Who has brought the change? It is not my grandmother, but it's my daughter. Daughter has given me traditional wisdom associated with food science and food technology. So blending food science and traditional wisdom is very, very important as far as being healthy and wholesome is concerned. This is thing. And yeah, I thank both Deshpande ji, Satya very much for one is the organization and then the excellent speech that you mentioned. Thank you very much. I think we should continue, actually the association should continue. And yes, Deshpande ji, thank you very much. And I also take this opportunity to thank everybody concerned with the ABGP, including, I think, Gayatri Madam and others who are there. Everybody from ABGP, thank you very much. Ankur, our chairman, Nakshatriji, our core chairman, who are instrumental in getting all these together, which is very, very important. I mean, such sessions, I think, are not just restricted to food alone. Consumer is everybody, not just the people in the food sector, everybody in the thing. So, thank you very much. Finally, all the, our office bearers of BCIC, secretary, joint secretary, that's Rupa and then Priti, all of them, thank you. Thank you very much. Look forward to more such meetings. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Prakash, for the wonderful summing up. Now, I would request Rupa Madam to play the video and thanking the speakers, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
On behalf of BCIC, we would like to play a small thank you video as a token of our appreciation. Please do stay with us, sir.
Okay. Okay, Rupa?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Now there are two more events are there. Number one is that the national anthem, which will be followed by Shanti Mantra by Srimati Vijayalakshmi. Now let us have the national anthem first. Please, Rupa, please.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you very much. Now, shall I request Srimati Vijayalakshmi ji for Shanti Mantra, please?
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Thank you so much for everybody, all the participants, all the speakers, all the sponsors and the BCIC, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you again, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.